Hi YouTube, this is Felicia with Bible Scraps, and I have a cool technique for you guys. Many of you were able to pick up these stamps by Tim Hotlz from Tuesday morning. By the way, they're still available. Selection will vary probably by now, but my store still has several packs of these still available. And when I saw these, I knew instantly that I wanted to make stamped fabric tags, and that's what this video is all about. So I took fabric that I would have thrown out. It was leftover fabric from projects I was working on, and I stamped on them, and some I have embellished. Now it depends, your results will depend on what type of fabric you are stamping on and what type of ink you are using and your pressure and all that. So some images you probably can't see what it is. These, or this one, that's the coffee beans. This is that iced cafe. And I used a stick pin to hold all of my similar tags together. I also stamped on this very sheer fabric. Now it did stamp out nice. You probably can't see what it is, but experiment. That impression is there and I can tell what it is. This is the soda pop. So I took bits and pieces, remnants and snippets of fabric, and I wasn't too careful about how I cut my fabric out. I just sat down, took my scissors, cut, stamped, and I had fun. Okay, so this particular fabric is from curtains. I cut off the trim I wanted and decided to recycle the rest of the fabric, and that has a really nice impression. Of course, we know that's the sewing machine. So in this video, we are going to work with this stamp set. I love all of these images, and we will create what you see here, because you can embellish to your heart's content. Of course, you don't have to embellish at all, but once again, I used snippets of, actually this trim here was left over from my die cutting machine. I would have thrown it out, and I thought, no, how can I recycle that? So these are really fun and easy to make. You can add these as accents to your pages, to your pockets. You can even use these as tabs. Okay, let's get started. Alrighty, so let's get started. Once again, I'm using thrifted fabric, leftover fabric that I would have donated or thrown out. I'm also using thrifted buttons, and I'm stamping on a stamping mat by Sizzix. I forget the name of this. Now you want to experiment with whatever you have. Even if you think it may not work, it might work. And I'm using a clear block by Fun Stamper's Journey. I became a coach last year, and I tell you, I invested in all of our clear blocks. It was one of the best stamping products that I purchased. I'm also using our black licorice ink. Experiment with whatever type of ink you have. Once again, your ink, your fabric, and your pressure, all of that will determine your final result. That's a nice impression of that typewriter. This type of project, you can whip out a lot of these in no time. It's repetitive. I didn't give any thought to my fabric squares. It didn't matter that they were not perfect. I think the charm comes from the imperfection, and I wanted that homespun feel. I know this is not homespun fabric, but I wanted that homemade feel. And I love that fabric there because it has that trim on the bottom. I will switch up stamps in a second. I'm loving that typewriter. You could do a whole lot with these. You could also experiment with different colors of ink. You could also, well, once again, just have fun. Don't think, create. Sit down and let serendipity have its way. And there's that vintage telephone. Love it! These tabs, or tags rather, they'll add a nice interest to your page. And at the end of this video, you'll see how easy it is to embellish these tabs. I keep saying tabs, but tags. So I'm switching out another stamp. There's 4 stamps in every pack, and if you are able to pick up a couple of these packs, it's excellent value. Excellent. I love red rubber, and this is a very good quality of red rubber. And these images, by the way, there's dies to match these images. The dies are available at Tuesday morning. Right now, as a matter of fact. And I think the dies, they're still real dies. I think they're cheaper now. These dies are normally $10, but the selection that has been coming in, they're $8. So you can find dies for all of these stamps right here. I think I have all of the dies. So you see how quick and easy it is to stamp on fabric. If you're interested, you can check out a video where I stamped on muslin, and I also colored that fabric. Just have fun and experiment with all your remnants and snippets, all those bits and pieces, all the fabric you would ordinarily throw out. And don't forget about the thrifted fabric. So happy I kept these pieces. Hey, let's embellish. Alrighty, no thought, you guys. These are remnant scraps. I cut out a bunch of squares from, I think they were napkins, and this is what was left over from the die cutting machine. So I'm going to be using some of it to embellish. You can use your hot glue gun, and I'll use mine. In addition, let's do it this way. I'm going to use one of my favorite crafty tools. You'll see that in a sec. Not really putting any thought. Oh, that's cute already, right? Okay, let's add a button. And I'll be using this tagger gun. I did a review on several guns. I prefer this one. I love it. I use it all the time. Have not had any problems. I'll have this linked below. The particular tags I'm using, it's by, if you guys remember, Around the Block, they had a tagger gun. Well, these tags fit with this particular gun. So, I'm done. Yeah, I'm not going to add too much. Okay, let's snip off some more of this, and we'll put some on the bottom. And of course, you can use the hot glue to add your buttons. You don't need the tagger gun, and I'll do that this time. But I want to add some flowers, and I'll probably, let's see here. I'll save that for a larger tag. Let's do this. Fold it, a snippet, add some hot glue to hold it down, and then add a little bit of hot glue on the back, add it right there, and add some hot glue down, add my button. So I kind of covered up the clock, but that's okay. Let's work with a fan. Let's see, we did a clock, 2 clocks. So let's do this fan now. And let's just add this flower. Now, if you have word stamps, you can add a word. And speaking of words, I absolutely love this ribbon. This is like my signature ribbon. Unfortunately, I can no longer get it because the warehouse, people, when I say it vanished literally overnight. I was looking for this store. It's in my neck of the woods. And I kept driving up and down the street until I realized they leveled the whole warehouse. And I did some research online. Well, a lot of buildings are being leveled because we are getting the speed rail. And that's what happened. I was so sad because this warehouse, it had been with us for decades. Okay, let's add a button. And you can find a lot of odd and end stuff, a lot of craft stuff. So I'll come back with some finished pieces. Okay, some ideas for you guys. To further embellish, you can use your clothespins. This is a mini one. You could also use the sewing pins. I love to use these. These bring back a lot of memories. You can use the artist pins. And of course, you can suspend mini dangles from this type of pin. You could use the safety pin. That also brings back a whole lot of memories. So you can embellish to your heart's content. These are so fun to make and will make the perfect accent for a pocket, on your page, even for a card. Now, if you have found this video to be inspirational, to be beneficial, to be creative, why not support my channel? Give me a big thumbs up. Also, subscribe. I have a lot, you guys, coming your way. And feel free to browse through all of my other videos. Feel free to share this video. Also, you can adopt this idea. I only ask for proper credits. Do give shout outs and do link back to this video. Well, I want to thank you all for watching. As always, blessings.